Hey guys, this is John from Meatgistics University, and this is Specialty Sausage 202, making Weisswurst. Weisswurst is a Bavarian sausage that's classically eaten in the morning. There is the old saying, apparently, that it shouldn't last past the noon church bell, meaning that it's supposed to be made and eaten at the same time. Now, it is cooked in water instead of on a grill or in a smoker because we're actually looking for this appearance, this nice whiter light appearance. And we're not going to get that if we cook it in a smoker or on a grill. That's because we're going to get a Maillard reaction or smoke adhesion. When it's colored like this, it's been cooked in some way to avoid any smoke, any Maillard reaction. For us, we found the easiest way to do that was to use a sous vide cooker. This is what we actually want the Weisswurst to look like. It is a light colored sausage, and we get that by using different proteins and different cooking methods, which we'll get to. Now first, Weisswurst is classically veal and pork. It's an uncured sausage. As some of you might know, we have a bit of an ethical problem with veal here. So this isn't classic veal. This is something called rosé veal. So rosé veal is raised a little bit differently, a way that we feel more comfortable with. Now, rosé veal doesn't have quite the same characteristics as regular veal, so it isn't going to be quite as white. Classically, this would be a little bit lighter in color, but with using rosé veal, it's an easy trade-off. Now, you would usually use pork fat. A lot of people like the belly fat for this. However, this is an uncured sausage. If we added even uncured bacon from the store, that's still going to have nitrites from the celery root, so it is going to start changing the color on it. We want this to be white, so we just used some fatty pork chunks. We used about 70% veal, 30% pork fat to get this white appearance. Now we ground everything through our Walton's one-shot grinder through a 1/8 plate. Then we took about half of that and put it back through that grinder a second time. Now, if you have access to either a bowl chopper or a mincer, a lot of people will take it after that first grind and then put it in the mincer with ice water. Very important to keep it cool. Our Walton's one-shot grinder works fast enough where we weren't too worried about that, but we did use ice water. Now, we measured out the correct amount of seasoning for this. We did 9 pounds. We also added cold phosphate. Did that because we want this to be a fairly juicy broth. We're raising the pH when we add cold phosphate. We're increasing the water holding capacity of the meat, but we are also shortening its shelf life. Now, as this sausage is not meant to stay around long, that's not much of a concern for us. We're going to eat some here and then we're going to freeze the rest for later. Now to stuff this, we used 30mm fresh collagen casings, and we did use our Walton's 30-pound electric stuffer. It handled it absolutely no problem at all, even with very little water being added to this. It went right through it, no problem. Now the casings are fresh collagen. We chose that because we're going to peel the casings off this sausage. This is classically a peeled sausage. Now to get this nice white color, we can't cook it in a grill or a smoker because we're going to get either the Maillard reaction or we're going to get smoke adhesion. So to prevent that, we cooked it sous vide. We set our sous vide cooker for 180 degrees, so we left it in there for about 30 minutes. A good rule of thumb is 1 minute for every millimeter diameter of your sausage. These were 30mm, so it took about 30 minutes. Cook it up to at least 158 degrees. Now here's where we'll have some differing opinions. Some people will say put it directly into an ice bath. Other people will say keep it in that warm water and actually take that warm water to the dinner table, breakfast table, wherever you're eating it. So you want to serve it as warm as possible. Now, one advantage to not putting it in an ice bath is those fresh collagen casings peeled really nicely off of it when it was still warm. As soon as it started to cool down a little bit, it did get more difficult to peel. So I would recommend you do that if you want to peel them. Now, one thing I did with these that I don't normally do is I tied off the end of the collagen casing. I did that because we're cooking them sous vide and I just didn't want it to expand and leak out into the meat at all. I also paid a little bit more attention to linking them in between. I tried to keep those links nice and tight. And as you can see, we did a fairly good job. There's very little bit of opening in between those collagen casings. Now, a Weisswurst seasoning should have white pepper, mace, onion powder, and a few other spices. We're using Excalibur's Weisswurst seasoning, and traditionally it is served with a sweet mustard. Now we've got this Granny's mustard. It's a sweet and tangy mustard, so we're gonna try it with that. Now I've never had Weisswurst before, so we're about to try this for the first time. I'm gonna cut a little piece off. It's got a nice texture in the middle. One of the things that they always recommend is you eat this with a Bavarian pretzel, and I can absolutely see why. It would go perfectly with that. But this sweet and a little bit tangy mustard really does work extremely well with the Weisswurst seasoning. So without the mustard, it does have more of a basic sausage taste, but it is still very, very good. Peeling off the casing also does change the bite of it. It might take your mouth a few minutes to kind of figure out what's going on. It was confusing initially, but I really do like it. And we do have somebody next door who says this is their favorite sausage. So I'm excited to see what they think about it because I absolutely love it, especially with this mustard. Really, really tasty. So if you're looking for something to cook to impress your friends from Germany, or when it's Oktoberfest, the Weisswurst is a great way to do it. And you can find rosé veal online fairly easily. As always, remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and visit waltons.com and meatgistics.com to find everything but the meat. Thanks for watching. I'm John with Waltons, and I'll see you guys next time.
Subscribe to Walton's YouTube channel to check out more amazing videos. Shop at waltonsinc.com to find everything but the meat. Or watch more Hamtic videos by clicking here or by clicking here.